Hey, what's going on, everybody? I want you to check out this video. I'm going to interrupt this chick in this video, but this is the Luciferian doctrine in its purest form with this lady. Now, she doing it pretty sly to where she's presenting it as if she read an article between an elite uh, Luciferian priest, and she's portraying it as if she's uh, an outsider looking in type. That's how she's presented, but she believes this herself. But she presents it as if she's an outsider. But this is Luciferian doctrine here, and I'm going to interrupt her throughout this video. So check her out.
Did Yahweh hold Adam and Eve as captives in the garden with absolutely no free will?
So she asked the question, did Yahweh put Adam and Eve in the garden without free will? No, that is incorrect. They twist the scriptures. Let's read what Yahweh did. This is Genesis chapter 2, and we're going to pick it up at verse 7. It says, "And the Lord God formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed in his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And the Lord planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed." Okay, we're going to skip down to the part uh, where she's talking about they have no free will. It says, "And the Lord God took the man, and he put him in the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat." So when it says every tree of the garden, it's saying every angel of the garden you can get knowledge from. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or Lucifer, or serpent, or the serpent, or the devil, thou shalt not eat of it. You don't get no knowledge from him. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. That is, so you got free will. You can eat. You can talk to any of these angels, but to the Lucifer, you don't talk to him. And that's it. So that because of that, you don't have free will. You got free will because you have the will to talk to him, which is what happens. But Lucifer didn't come to the man. Lucifer came to the woman. Why didn't he go to the man? Because the man would have obeyed. And obedience is not having free will, because you cannot obey, which is what Lucifer did, and that's why he in the position he in. But look what it says. Genesis 3 and 1, it says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden." He asking her a question, and that's what God said to Adam, right? So Adam told it to the woman. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. Right? So she understands the commandment. And that's, you have free will, because she's going to show she got free will, because she's going to do what she wanted. Now, this chick's going to also say that Lucifer was put into the earth so that he could give the people knowledge. No, he was put into the earth so that man could have a choice to serve God or serve evil. That's what it is. It says, and the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. Didn't we just read in Genesis 2 that he said, You shall surely die? He just lied to her and said, You shall not surely die. But they don't want to bring up that Lucifer lied. He said, For God doth know in the day that ye eat thereof, your eyes shall be open, ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And God didn't want them to know good and evil, because he wanted to raise them up as he raised the angels up. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at a little bit more of this chick thing. But right off the bat, she said that they was captives in the garden. No, they were not captives in the garden.
This is part 4 to a article I stumbled across where an interview takes place with a elite bloodline priest. And oh my gosh, this chapter is fascinating. Now, if you haven't seen parts 1, 2, and 3, go check them out in my playlist called Elite Interview. And by the way, this is just informational purposes. None of this is facts. In part 3 of this video series, this interviewer is talking to this Luciferian elite priest, and he's asking, is your creator the same as our creator? And he says basically yes. And what he explains is that there is an ultimate creator, and below him is this council. And this council is probably made up of what we would call like Archangel Michael and other high-level angels. That Yahweh is like some sub God, and he has been sent to rule over this planet. This is his planet. He gets to create, and he creates this incredibly beautiful garden, and he creates his beings, aka us. Now here's where the problem comes in. Yahweh creates us, the beings, right? And they're in this beautiful garden, and they can do anything they want, basically, except for eat from the tree of good and evil. And so they're basically slaves, right? They got to tend the garden, name the animals, but they have absolutely no free will. And he's trying to figure out why these people aren't evolving, right? So he reaches out to the higher council and says, I got this problem. They're not evolving. And so Lucifer gets sent down. He signs a contract along with
Okay, again, it's lies. He was sent down. He signed a contract by the elders. There's a council. No, there ain't no council. Who she calls Yahweh, which is Jehovah, has all the power. You know what I'm saying? And he directs the angels, and the angels are ministering spirits. They have no power. Only what the Lord give them. So she's dead wrong there. And then she said Lucifer was sent down because Yahweh or Jehovah's creation wasn't evolving. The creation was evolving, and Lucifer was down here before the creation was created. Let's read in Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. It says, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which has deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. And that was before the creation is when that happened. So he was already here. So this ain't got nothing to do with creation. See how? But this is the Luciferian doctrine. This is in the Satanic Bible, and it's also in the Gnostic Gospels. And she's going to tell you that you need to deal with the Gnostic Gospels. I'm telling you, this is the one world religion that's coming.
Yahweh and the council of elders puts the two together and says, okay, here's your contract. Lucifer, your job is to go down. And Yahweh is accepting of this, right? Because he wants these people to evolve. But Lucifer's like, the problem is they have no free will. They don't have the right to choose anything, okay? So how can you know the difference between light and dark if there's no dark to contrast the light? Now, Yahweh doesn't want them to eat of this tree in the light, but here Lucifer says, well, let's ask them. Let's give them the choice to choose. So Lucifer's willing to give you a choice. He's not forcing the apple on Adam and Eve. He's saying, what would you like to do? Here's an apple. Would you like to have more knowledge? And of course they do. And so when they do it, they get this knowledge. And now Yahweh's all pissed off. And remember in his book, he tells you he's a jealous God. So he's all angry because he thought his children would choose to obey him like a good slave does. So the only reason they were obeying is because they had to obey, not because they chose to obey. So Lucifer coming was to bring us free will. So now Yahweh's all pissed off at Lucifer because, they didn't choose you, Yahweh. They chose their own free will. And so he has this chance, Lucifer, to get out of this contract. And the elders say, you can get out of this contract, but you're still going to have to stay on Earth and serve the planet. So you can either serve the planet or you can continue with the contract you signed, carry out your mission. And if you do that, I'll give you the right to rule over them. So Yahweh, being all pissed off with his creation, kicks him out of his garden because now he's mad at them too. So understand that Lucifer came so that you could have free will. But part of that contract...
Again, that's a straight up lie, because we read that the free will is you being able to choose. Lucifer was here before. So and then she's saying that Lucifer can rule over the creation, which is not true. So if we go over to Isaiah chapter 14, it'll tell us. So let's go over to Isaiah 14, and we're going to pick it up at verse 12. And it is because these people don't deal with the Bible. They trying to push another doctrine. Ooh, it sounds so close to the Bible, just like you shall not surely die. But it says, how art thou fallen for heaven? Didn't we read in Revelation chapter 12 that there was a war in heaven? So it says, how art thou fallen for heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? How he weakened the nations? He lied to them. He says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. But what the Most High say? He said, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. So where is this Lucifer's going to rule over the people? See, I'm telling you, this Luciferian doctrine is sweet. Let's continue.
Was if they stayed and completed their contract, they got to rule over Yahweh's people. I guess basically Lucifer won the bet. And it seems kind of funny to Lucifer, at least the way I read it, that he's like, and Yahweh's impending wrath. Like, in other words, they have just as much power, so it's not like they're really that worried about it. I mean, if you think about it, didn't you ever wonder why God hasn't stopped in and stopped them? Why hasn't God stopped all this evil? Now,
Well, I'll read to you why he ain't stopped all the evil. I am the Lord, there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. Even when we ain't know him, he's still God. That they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So the Lord control everything. So how does Lucifer have any power? It is a lie. So let's continue.
priest goes on to say, let's be clear about one thing. All of this physical life, this incarnation, is a very intricate and skillfully designed game, whereby the one infinite creator plays the game of forgetting who it is. Now, this is all a game that's going on in the heavens. Yes, we are the pawns in a game. And the way we win the game is by remembering who we are and the power that we have, and that we are, in a sense, Yahweh. We are part of the creator, and we have the power to create. So Lucifer is telling you, just like so many movies we have seen, how many movies? Put it in the comments where their memory gets wiped, right? And they have to remember who they are. All these movies are telling us, they are trying to help us to understand that our memory was wiped. We don't know who we are. We have to remember who we are. And in doing so, experience and know ourselves as creator, because we are a part of creation and the creator. And so therefore we have the power to create.
She is correct in that regard, because in Psalm 82 it says, I have said ye are gods and all are children of the Most High. And then in John chapter 10, verse 30 through 35, Jesus tells the Pharisees that, have I not said, it is not written in your law that I have said ye are gods and all children of the Most High. So she correct in the fact that we are creators. But there is an order to become creator because of what Lucifer did in the garden. See, they take no accountability for the murder that they do, but they sure take accountability for the rewards for the work. See, they don't work for what they get, but they sure want the reward. Let's continue.
He goes on to say, all the way down to us tiny individuated sparks of the all that is. Off stage, he goes, off stage, when you're not here on this planet and your spirit goes up, in between lives, he says, this is all a game. We're all the best of friends, and we all laugh about it because we've all been performing in a play, and we look forward to and have great fun preparing for the next chapters that we get to act out. So once you remember who you are and where you came from and your divine power, you win the game that way. Now, the interviewer asked the priest, can you tell us a little bit more about this coming harvest? Is this going to be like in 2012, like the whole Mayan thing? And this priest says, yes, it's in your best interest to understand the whole Mayan calendar. There were people called the travelers who came and gave them insight about these things. He also says, look into.
Do you know that the travelers are the fallen angels? In the book of Enoch, they are called the Watchers. But even in gang banging, because I used to gang bang in my young years, the travelers was the vice lords, and they had the pyramid. You know what I'm saying? It's all free Masonic. And then she said they were on a stage, we're on a checkerboard. This is Luciferian doctrine. This is Freemasonry. It's all Luciferian. And then she's going to start talking about the Gnostic Gospels, and then uh, positivity and all of this stuff about energy. And they believe this, and they are making it happen. If you look at what's going on, they are making that Luciferian doctrine go down.
To the Gnostic texts. Now, this Gnostic texts aren't 100% accurate because he says things kind of get a little messed up in the translation, but you'll get the general gist of things if you begin to understand the Gnostic texts and the Mayan calendar and the prophecy surrounding it. Again, keep in mind that this interview happened back in October of 2008, and this prophecy was supposed to come to pass in 2012. But then I remembered we have people who have changed the calendar, so 2012 is really not 2000.
You know why they prophecies, they Notre Damus, they 2012. You know why that stuff ain't coming to pass? Because they running it through Lucifer, and the Lord has His own order. So they throw out these dates, and then they don't come to pass because they don't make it happen. Just like in the year 2000. 2000 was supposed to be the new world order because Bush Jr. Or Bush Sr. said the new world order is supposed to start, or he announced it in 91. And then when the World Trade Centers were brought down, not by no planes, that was Project Bluebeam. At any rate, then in 2001, that's when it was supposed to. Remember Prince, we gonna party like it's 1999. 2000, oops, party over, we out of time. That's when it was supposed to happen, but they didn't get it done. And now they set up Agenda 2030 because they believe in 2030 they're going to have their new world order. It's all Luciferian doctrine, man. Tell them.
12. Now, according to this Luciferian priest, he says it's noonday, winter solstice, sun of December 21st, 2012 is the time when the Lord of the harvest shall return. You also might know him as Nibiru. So
this Nibiru, this where you get your alien invasions and Area 51 and all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's where all that comes from. But they really real, which is what they're called, what the elite call them real. Uh, there's a real society. Look all that up, but that's what the elite call them. But they're actually the fallen angels of Lucifer, and they hide them in Antarctica. They hide them in Russia. They hide them in China, India, the Tibetan mountains. Um, the monks are the keepers of the real. Um, if you look all this up and look up sightings, you'll see all through there. They got carvings. They got all kinds of old things about the gods that come down from the sky, the lizard people, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's where this Nairubu comes in and all of this. And she even admitted that it's Luciferian doctrine. But you have to understand it is totally contrary to the Bible. And this is your free will. Your free will is choose. And the choice was not brought because of Lucifer. The choice was there before Lucifer. Or excuse me, Lucifer was already there, but the choice came when the Lord set the garden up and everything. So you got free will. And she's saying the Lord was mad that they chose Lucifer. No, he created good and evil. And he already foretold that there is going to be a seed of Lucifer, there's going to be a seed of God because that's good and evil. He created that order, not Lucifer. Not Lucifer signed a contract, none of that. But let's continue with and finish up with her.
for us to figure out when this noonday winter solstice of 2012 is, we have to have an accurate calendar, and we don't have that. This priest goes on to say, you are indeed what we would call divine souls. You are sparks or seeds of the one infinite creator. You are life itself. You are light. He goes,
I'm sorry to keep interrupting this lady, but she keep lying. Okay, say you are light. No, we're not light. This is what light is. Uh, if we go to Second Corinthians chapter 4, verse 6, This is what light is. We are not light. This is the light. For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, hath shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. So light is the knowledge of who God the Father is through Jesus Christ. Because everybody think Yahweh is the Father and Yahweh is the one who later became known as Jesus Christ. So the light is knowing who the Father and Jesus is. So this is another lie Lucifer tell, because this is like pedophiles. Pedophiles tell you how great you are and how awesome you are, and you just haven't figured it out. And let me help you figure out. This is pedophile. This is Luciferian doctrine. This is how they roll, brothers and sisters. Let's keep going.
Goes on to say, remember and learn who you truly are, and know that this is exactly what we came here to help you do. And while yes, you are currently trapped here or quarantined within the matter of this planet you call Earth, he reminds you that you can thank Yahweh for that. The priest says, macrocosmically speaking, that was a big word, you are essentially Yahweh. He goes on to say, the karmic effect of his imprisoning us in his astral planes also.
Again, she's saying we in a prison. The only one who think they in a prison is Lucifer, because Lucifer come from heaven. We come from the dirt. Did we not read that God made man of the dust of the earth and breathed it into his nostrils, the breath of life, and man became a living soul? We from the earth, so this our home. So we this ain't no prison. To Lucifer, it's a prison because we read in Revelation 12 that he was cast down, him and his angels, from heaven. Then we read in Isaiah 14, how art thou fallen, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground? So he's the only one that thinks this is a prison planet. And if you look at Elon Musk with the SpaceX, and X is a Luciferian thing. It is duality, checkerboard floor, Luciferian doctrine. You know what I'm saying? And they trying to break the firmament with them SpaceX rockets. So, I mean, it's either you follow Lucifer or you follow King Jesus. That is the ultimate choice. And that is the only choice anybody got. So if they telling you got any other choice than that, they'll tell you that you have no free will because that's the only choice you got. I'm telling you, let's keep going.
Has an impact on you. In other words, we are suffering the consequences of the Luciferians having to stay here and carry out this plan because of Yahweh. I cannot be more specific on this without impinging on the law of confusion. You must work it out for yourselves. Now, I think this is where I'm going to stop because the next part is about the harvest, and he goes into the Mayan calendar and the precession of the equinoxes and breaks some more things down.
Now, this harvest she talking about is the Great Reset and the Great Depopulation, because they need to depopulate the Earth to 500 million. That's a part of their Luciferian doctrine. In order for everybody to upload their consciousness and leave their body and become God, these people are psychopaths. But this is what they believe, and they carrying it out, and it's all written that they're supposed to carry all these things out. What we have to do is have the knowledge to avoid the situation. That's basically what it's all about. That's why the Lord say, keep my commandments, because if you ain't keeping his commandments, then you are a slave of Rome, because you're already physically bound to Rome through their birth certificate, social security card, and state ID, because they made you a corporation, a dead entity lost at sea. So when this lady is saying all this stuff, it's Luciferian, brothers and sisters. It has nothing to do with the Bible, and it ain't reality. It is something that they trying to bring forth because they believe they God without God. Let's keep going, and then we'll end this.
So stay tuned for part 5, the harvest.
Now I'll do another video on her part 5 with the harvest, and the harvest is the depopulation. That's what the harvest is depopulation. So that's why they don't have no empathy of killing 6 billion, 7 billion people, because it's a part of their doctrine. They think they're doing something good for the earth. And in the Bible, Jesus even said these people think they do the work of God when in fact they doing the work of Lucifer. You know what I'm saying? So this why it's gonna be gnashing and weeping and worms and all of that. Why it's gonna be all that with the lake of fire because of what these people doing. So we'll do another video another time on part 5 because we got to kill this Luciferian doctrine they trying to put out as light work and shadow work and all this stupid stuff they out here on. All right, peace, y'all.